Good morning, beloveds. It is August 13th. It is Thursday. And it is hot out there. We are under a heat advisory until Friday. Which is tomorrow. But still, we're under a heat advisory. So please be careful out there. Please drink plenty of water. Wear sunscreen. All that jazz. I mean, it's summer, but still, the heat advisory, it's time to take extra precautions. But 365, Science of Mind, August 13th. Our title is The Spirit Goes Before Me. So, good is at the root of everything, regardless of its seeming absence. But this good must be recognized. Since there is but one Spirit, and this Spirit is in you and in everything, then everywhere you go, you will meet this Spirit. You meet this Spirit in people, in places, and in things. This one Spirit, which manifests itself in and through all, including you, automatically adjusts parts to the whole. Therefore, you may accept with positive certainty that the Spirit within you goes before you and prepares your way. Your faith is placed in something as positive and certain as the laws of life, exact as the principle of mathematics, something ever present like the ethers of space, ever operating like the laws of nature. Say, I know that the Spirit within me goes before me, making perfect, plain, straight, easy, and happy the pathways of my experience. There is nothing in me that can obstruct the divine circuits of life, of love, of beauty, and of truth. My word dissolves every negative thought or impulse that would throw a shadow of unbelief across the threshold of my expectation. I lift high my cup of acceptance, knowing that the divine outpouring will fill it into the brim. I identify myself with the living Spirit, with all the power, all the presence, and all the life there is. This seems to be based on the quote from Jesus towards the end, where he says, I go now to prepare the way for you. Really, and I don't remember if that part, this is where I need my Bible scholar, that would be Reverend Arthur, by the way, if that was before or after the crucifixion. And I believe it was after he was raised and came back. He came back and did a little more teaching and then said, I go to prepare the way for you, meaning into the next existence. I could be wrong, though. Just so you know, please grab your Bible and look it up. But what Ernest is talking about, so good is at the root of everything. If everything is made up, which is what we teach, everything is made up of divine substance, then good literally is at the root of everything. Good is the building block for everything. The use we make of the things built by Spirit is where we can create problems for ourselves. So, good is at the root of everything, regardless of its seeming absence. That's where I say we can get in our own way by the use that we make of what Spirit has built. But this good must be recognized, and that's a big thing for Ernest. He's big on, okay, you gotta see it, you gotta look for it, you gotta be conscious of it. Because Emma says, if you're looking for yellow elephants, you're going to find yellow elephants. So if you're looking for negative, you're going to find negative. If you're willing to look for the good, you're going to find the good. And the more good you look for, the more you're going to see. So the more it just kind of builds upon itself. Since there is but one Spirit, and this Spirit is in you and in everything, which is what I said, everything's built from Spirit, then everywhere you go, you will meet the Spirit. Everywhere you go, you'll meet the Spirit. And then he says, which manifests itself in and through all, including you. Oh, no, wait, I skipped a line. You will meet the Spirit in people, in places, and in things. There's nothing that is not Spirit. This one Spirit, which manifests itself in and through all, including you. And I like how he keeps coming back to, you know what? Your spirit, your spirit, your spirit, automatically adjusts parts to the whole. Okay, let me read that again. This one Spirit, which manifests itself in and through all, including you, automatically adjusts parts to the whole. Honestly, I have no idea what he's talking about there. I really don't. I think you could probably write an entire book on just that one phrase right there. But if I'm going to take a shot at it, if you're willing to recognize that you are part of Spirit, then Spirit will automatically adjust you, your experiences, your body, to a more divine life, which is what the whole is. Just a thought. If you have other ideas, let me know. I do try and go back and read the comments. It may take me a couple of days, but I'd be interested to see what you think about that one phrase. Therefore, you may accept with positive certainty that the Spirit within you goes before you and prepares your way. Your faith is placed in something as positive and certain as the laws of life. Your faith is placed in something that is exact as the principles of mathematics. Your faith is placed in something ever present like the ethers of space. Okay, sometimes he shows that he was writing in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. The ethers of space. Your faith is placed in something ever operating like the laws of nature. We are not praying to a capricious God. We are praying or treating to a divine patterning intelligence that responds to us the way we come to it. So if we come to it in quiet, loving, peaceful, then it responds to us in quiet, loving, peaceful. If we come to it in fury and what have you, then the circumstances around us are likely going to reflect that. That is not Spirit responding in that way. But the circumstances around us will. We are not being judged by a great accountant in the sky. We are being guided by a presence that can only respond to us in a way that we come to it, and only respond to us to the degree that we're willing to. So when we are not accepting, our way is not made straight. But when we are accepting, our way is made straight. And sometimes we have to walk through some stuff to get what we want and to get what we need. Because we are in relation. We are in relation. We are part of a whole. And again, you can write a book. I'm going to think about that some more. All right. Basically, I think where I was trying to go with this and got sidetracked was, and it's ask for what you need. Do the work you need to do to get what you need. And have the faith that you are guided in the work that you do to get what you want. Because if you ask for and do the work, there is no God that is going to say no. Because the God, the Spirit, whatever word you want to use, always says yes. Always says yes. And sometimes we ask for things that we really don't want because we think we should or whatever reason. But that is our spirit, our God, whatever you want, is not unpredictable. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not. It is not judging what we ask for. It will give us what we ask for if we ask with the passion and we do the work. And sometimes we ask for things that we really don't want, and we get them. And sometimes we ask for things that we really do want, but we don't do the work. We have a responsibility in this relationship with this. It's not because God said no, it's because we didn't do the work. And I don't mean like, I don't know. There's a whole different idea about work that I will just confuse myself if I go into it now. So I'm gonna let it go for a minute. I'll be back to that one, I'm sure. Okay, so our treatment. Say, I know that the Spirit within me goes before me, making perfect, plain, straight, easy, and happy the pathways of my experience. So, I know that I am going to ask the Spirit for this, and I am going to trust that the Spirit is going to make the way plain for me. But when I say make the way plain for me, that also includes the guidance and doing the work along the path to get what it is that I have asked for. It will be easy work because I trust Spirit to make it easy for me to get what I have asked for. There is nothing in me that can obstruct the divine circuits of life, of love, of beauty, of truth. There is nothing within me. If there is anything in me, I'm going to let that go. I am going to trust the divine circuits of life. My word dissolves every negative thought or impulse that would throw a shadow of unbelief across the threshold of my experience. Okay, try that sentence again. My word dissolves every negative thought or impulse that would throw a divine shadow of unbelief across the threshold of my expectation. I lift my cup of acceptance, knowing that the divine outpouring will fill it to the brim. How big is your cup? Feel free to get a bigger cup. I identify myself with the living Spirit, with all the power, all the presence, and all the life there is. All right, so right there, those last two sentences are, straight up power statements. I lift my cup of acceptance, knowing that the divine outpouring will fill it to the brim. I identify myself with the living Spirit. I identify myself with the living Spirit. I encourage you to identify yourself with the living Spirit. I encourage you to lift your cup of acceptance and believe that it will be filled to the brim by the divine. So identify yourself. Here's what I would say. Our mission, should we choose to accept it today, is to identify ourselves with the living Spirit, with all the power, all the presence, and all the life there is. And that is why Jesse starts his treatments like that. There is one life, one power, one presence. I identify myself with that life, that power, that presence. And that means that that life is my life, that presence is within me, and that power is mine to use. Which means same for you. Because we are all part of that greater whole. It goes back to, if you can identify with the Spirit, then that Spirit will adjust the part, meaning you, to the whole. Meaning it will allow that presence, that power, to flow through you. So raise your cup of acceptance in full confidence that the divine will fill it to the brim. All right. I got a little worked up on this one. This one was a good one for me. It made me work. I like it when it makes me work. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. I say that every day. I mean it every day. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. That is the Dalai Lama. So, do something today that engages your mind and spirit. I would tell you to open your windows, but there is a heat advisory, so don't. But do get some fresh air. And as I have stolen from Ernest Holmes and love, this is Rita, by the way, open the windows of your soul and allow that breath of heaven to come in. Allow it to bring in the peace, the harmony, the blessings in all that you do. And know that you are the beloved child of that living spirit in whom that spirit is well pleased. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Reverend David will be on with you around 5 today. And Rita has a nice, wonderful purr for you right now. So, she's my co-minister. All right, beloveds. Have a wonderful day. Drink plenty of water.